Am I the asshole for causing my friend to have an allergic reaction after finding out she's been sleeping with my ex-boyfriend? Throw away and change names even though the people I know would probably recognise this story. I, 24 female, have been with my boyfriend John, 23 male, for a little over a year. We met after a close friend, let's call her Isabel, 23 female, introduced him to our friend group, and things developed quickly between John and me while Isabel and John remained close. This was no problem to me at the time, as I always viewed their relationship as purely platonic, but as it turns out, I was very wrong. Suspicions of their affair started after I noticed John mentioning Isabel more often than usual and them exchanging looks and giggling whenever we hung out together. When I mentioned it, John would reassure me it's just an insider and me knowing would ruin the fun of it. Also, John would also often unpromptedly offer that Isabel can stay at our apartment, we have a guest room, after long nights out, with Isabel, fortunately, always declining. This started around a month ago. A short while later, John started staying late for work, stating that he wants to accumulate overtime so we can spend more time around the holidays together. I know John hates working longer than required, as he already comes home stressed out and tired from his normal shift. To prove my suspicions, I came up with a plan. Everybody in our friend group knows that Isabel has a slight peanut allergy. We have seen her allergic reactions, and they're definitely not fun, but they also aren't life-threatening, facial swelling and redness. So last week, while grocery shopping, I bought some peanut butter under the pretense that I wanted to try out a recipe I saw on TikTok. 2 days ago, John and I got up in the morning, and during breakfast, he exclaimed that he would be working late again. This is when I took the peanut butter out of the cupboard and ate 2 slices of toast with lots of peanut butter. Before he left, I offered to perform oral sex on him, explaining it with only seeing him very late in the evening and not being able to wait until he's back. He happily agreed even, though this caused him to be late and cost him some of his hard-earned overtime. And I went down on him before he went to work. This is when the fallout happens. Later that evening, the group chat is informed by John that Isabel has been hospitalised. She was released the same day, and John is bombarding my phone with messages and calls accusing me of poisoning Isabel on purpose. Since I never eat peanut butter or blow him in the morning, he must have put 2 and 2 together. And that I could have killed her for something I should have talked to him about. I don't feel like this was something I needed to be mature about and talk it out. And since Isabel and I have been close since elementary school, she betrayed my trust even more than John did. She deserved most of the revenge. Isabel probably talked to our mutuals about it since I've been kicked out of the group chat and nobody is responding to my texts. So, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole? Mum kicked me out at age 22 with no place to move into and got mad at me that I didn't take simple pictures. Hello, I, 22 female, just got kicked out of my mom's, 58 female, house after being told I had less than a month to clear out the home and find somewhere else to live. For context, I have lived in this house for nearly 16 years. 3 of those years were after my mom moved out to live with her boyfriend, 62 male, several states away. I had my fair share of roommates and even went through a divorce during those 3 years. My mum told me on September 30th, 2025, that I had till the end of October to clear out the entire home and find a new place to live. I work 2 full-time jobs, so it was practically impossible for me to do everything on my own. I had the help of my wonderful boyfriend to guide me and help me through the whole process. It was exhausting, and I'm still very sore from all the heavy lifting. But I managed to clear out the house and find myself a place to live with my 6 cats. Well, as of yesterday, October 29th, 2025, I signed the title of the house to the new owner and received the money in cash. My mum had asked me to take pictures of the front and back of the signed title, but I had forgotten in the moment since my boyfriend was already taking a video of the whole process, the signing, the counting of money and the handshake after closing the sale. My mum texted me this morning asking if I had gotten the pictures, and I told her I had forgotten, but that was because I didn't realise the video wasn't good enough for her to see that everything was signed. Now she's not talking to me, and I think she's mad over not getting 2 pictures, but she got several videos of everything else. So, AITA, edit for common questions. Yes, I was paying all the bills at the house. My mum gave me power of attorney to sell the house since she lives out of state now. I foster cats, which is why I have 6. 2 of the 6 are my mum's cats, so I foster 4. And it's a title, not a deed, because it's a mobile home. Update 2. Thank you to the people who have been super nice to me and have been saying that they are proud of me and the way I handled the situation. It definitely wasn't easy. This week has been a roller coaster. I'm happy it's almost over. I move into my new place today with my 2 cats and the 4 fosters. The fosters' new parents are picking them up around 7 p.m. It's currently 5:30 p.m. as I'm typing this edit. I am planning on getting into contact with my mum's best friend and making her go get pictures of the title because I am not stepping foot back into that place. I am done with that home and the toxicity it came with. That chapter is over in my life. Again, thank you for all the people who are supportive of me and what I have accomplished. To the haters, I don't care about your opinions. I did my best to accommodate my mother since she couldn't be here. She's got her money and that's that. I am going low contact with her until she apologizes for yelling at me over pictures. Thank you, everyone. Update 3. Thank you to the people who are being supportive and kind towards me in this weird situation I got myself into. But I would like to say that me and my mum are okay now. She apologized for being unreasonable about simple pictures. She went into the videos and took screenshots of the documents, so now she has her pictures. I will no longer respond to comments as this situation is now over. Again, thank you to the kind and supportive people. This is my last update. Bye-bye.
Am I the asshole for not letting my partner's mom crash our Halloween plans? Yesterday, my partner and I, both 19, had big plans for Halloween. I'll call my partner Luke. We were planning on making a big dinner together and having a movie marathon after handing out candy to kids. Early in the day, we get a text from my partner's mom, who I'll call Mary. She says, I'm going to be in city 40 minutes away from us early this afternoon. Do you want to come hang out with me? Luke says no because he has lectures and has to work on a group project. She says, oh, okay, I'll see you then. We figured that would just be the end of it. She lives 3 hours away from us but travels for work a lot, and it's not unheard of that she'd be in the area. We go on with our day after that. Mid-afternoon, when Luke is done with everything for university, we go to the store to pick up stuff for dinner. We'd been cooking for about 2 hours when Mary calls us and says, hey, I'm coming over for dinner. My partner says, we already have plans, sorry. She says that she hates to pull the mom trump card, but that she's coming anyways. I'm pissed if at that. We only bought food for 2 people. If we had known she was coming over earlier in the day when she first texted, we realistically could have gotten more food. She gets to the house and dinner is like 30 minutes until done. The tension is palpable with me trying to make this food work for 3 people. When dinner is literally almost finished, Mary says, hey Luke, let's go out and get some coffee and talk alone. You mean right now? Yeah. I stop and say, we're just about to eat. What about me? Mary says, you can just keep it on, keep warm. I can see Luke is visibly uncomfortable with leaving me alone, and he keeps looking at the food I'm making and back at me. So I finally get the memo and say, no, he's not going to get coffee with you right now. She says, son, come on, it'll only be an hour. And I again say, no, we're not going right now. I was about to suggest maybe going after dinner if they wanted to talk alone, but before we could talk, she just yells, fine, I guess I'll just leave, before slamming the door and leaving. She didn't come back. Luke's dad is pissed off at us. She never comes to visit. You see your girlfriend every day, so what's the big deal? If you went and talked with your mom, it would have worked out in your favor. You're young and should be able to change your plans. Luke and I think it's horribly rude to not consider our plans and availability. If we were younger, I get it. But we have school, work, and obligations now that we're over 18. We can't make everything work around her schedule. Also, even if we had no plans at all, it's rude to drop in unexpectedly on someone and demand food, especially on a big holiday. Finally, we were both hungry. It was even more rude to say to me, Just wait another hour while we go and have coffee and a dessert alone. My partner's dad said we're acting like babies. Not to get overly salty, but I think the baby move in this situation was to run out screaming instead of, going out alone after we ate, or at least asking why he didn't want to go at that moment. I do feel bad for hurting her feelings and making it feel like we don't care about her. She has a history of being horribly clingy and sensitive around Luke after one of his sisters cut her off. I know she has it rough. But I was upset she crashed without us knowing and wanted to go out alone with my partner and leave me hanging. I would like the opinion of parents and older adults especially. Our close friends our age say it's not our fault, but we've had some older adults say it's rude to reject a parent like that. Edit. Thank you all for your input. Going forward, I've decided to talk with my boyfriend about being more forceful with her when it comes to boundaries, and I will make sure he is the one talking, not me. Next time, we will be harsher on saying no. We are also looking into counseling for my boyfriend for this issue. I might post an update after this situation cools down a bit. Thanks again.
Am I the asshole for telling my pregnant sister she can't move into my guest room for a few months after she argued with her boyfriend? My sister, 25 female, is 5 months pregnant and recently had a big fight with her boyfriend. She called me, 30 female, crying, saying she needs space from him and asked if she could stay in my guest room just until she figures things out. Here's the problem, that guest room isn't really empty. I use it as my home office and I work remotely full-time. It's filled with my setup, shelves and equipment. I told her I could maybe let her crash for a weekend or two, but not indefinitely. She said she'd barely be there during the day and that I'm valuing my job over family. I reminded her that my job literally pays for the apartment. She told our mum, who texted me saying, "It's just for a few months, you have space and she's pregnant, have some compassion." But last time my sister stayed with me for a week, it turned into 2 months, and I had to ask her to leave after she started leaving laundry everywhere and having her boyfriend over constantly. Now she's not speaking to me and says I'm abandoning her when she needs me most. Am I the asshole for saying no?
Am I the asshole for canceling my visit after my father refused to pick me up from the train station and called me a drama queen for it? I, 42 female, currently live abroad. My partner and I have built a life there over the past years, but my parents have never once visited us, even though I've invited them several times. Now that I'm back in Germany for a short stay, I thought it would be nice to visit them. We haven't seen each other in almost a year. I don't have a car here, so I plan to come by train. The trip already involved a few transfers, and the last station before their town is about 30 kilometers away. I asked my father if he could pick me up there since the next connection would have been very tight and would have added extra waiting time anyway. He hesitated and said it was too much of a detour and that he didn't know the area well. Eventually, he found another connection and told me I could take that one instead. It was basically the same route, just earlier, and I would have had to wait even longer between trains. But that way, he wouldn't have to drive the extra 30 kilometers. For context, this is a man who regularly drives all over the region to take pictures of trains, his hobby, without blinking an eye at hundreds of kilometers. Yet suddenly, picking up his daughter he hasn't seen in a year is too much. When I asked if he was seriously refusing over such a small thing, he got defensive, called me playing the victim, and a drama queen. In German, he literally said I was acting like a sulky sausage, which is as ridiculous as it sounds. At that point, I was done. I told them I wouldn't come. I felt completely unwelcome, not because of the distance, but because of the attitude. I've lived abroad long enough to recognize when someone values your effort versus when they see you as an inconvenience. My mother was disappointed and sent several emotional messages, saying parents make mistakes, that I should reconsider, and how sad it would be if I didn't visit. But to me, this isn't about perfection. It's about respect and basic willingness. So I canceled the visit. Now I'm being told I overreacted and that I'm too sensitive. Am I the asshole for drawing the line here?